All right, this race we have Bowdoin. I believe Bowdoin's in the pink, and I think this is against URI. We'll figure it out soon enough. We're kind of coming into the last final approach to the starting line here. Probably within 30 seconds or so. And we talked about this a lot yesterday, but the pin boat is probably in our most match race oriented position, right? So they are full on with their pair, and all they're worried about is beating their pair off the starting line, you know? So might be able to get a little bit of a hook here, a little bit of a piece of them. Green boat cycles out. Pink boat needs to cycle out with the green boat. And we can kind of see our middle boat now is kind of putting the green boat in the double burger here. I think Bowdoin's actually in green right now. So we have a boat at the pin. We have a boat at the boat end of the line that's controlling that pair, and then we have a boat in the middle. And we can kind of see how there were some pretty big angle changes here, you know, and we were maybe a little bit slow to react to that one. But the fleet racing stuff is huge here, you know. The pink boat's cut off kind of clean in the middle. And we had 3 boats off the line, and it's all about speed right now. You know, the putting ourselves in the first place opens up a lot. And that was a good move on our lead green boat. This happened a couple times yesterday where we kind of go to tack and cover, but if we're on the lift, we don't necessarily want to tack and cover. We want to tack or we want to kind of fake attack and make sure we stay on the lifted tack. So we get a little bit out of sync here with the green boats, even though boats that are coming from behind and that were way over are now back in the game because of a big right angle. And what we need to think about here is if we're in a big right phase there, I think we probably let that pair on the course right, screen left kind of go a little bit and kind of play a little bit faster forward because we were kind of close to a play 1, it looked like at one point here. But we're still controlling 2 pairs. And we're letting boats get a little bit outside leverage of us right now. We'll talk about covering for leverage. You basically have to match the trailing boat's tacks every time. Otherwise, if they get outside of you, they're going to be able to get a little bit more leverage than you are, and that's kind of how they can make a pass. So it looks like Bowdoin has 2 pairs, but we definitely have the 6. And it looks like this top left pair is kind of more advantaged than the far right pair. So pink looks like they're close to being a play 1 here. Really got to pinch this pink boat off as quickly as possible. And it's a pretty deep, we're rounding basically 3, 4, 6, and pretty deep in the 3, 4, 6. And boat 15 here now really has to kind of go to work pretty hard on breaking up the 1, 2. So we kind of tell, like, on that beat a little bit, we sailed our 2 back green boats were in better positions off the starting line, but we just didn't sail the shifts nearly as well as the pink boats, and we kind of paid the price for it. We're trailing with a 3, 4, 5 with a really pretty big gap. And yesterday's conditions, the fleet racing was just so damn important. It was so important on the race course to make sure you were sailing the shifts really, really well. So here we can kind of see our green boat is kind of making some work, getting some work done here. They're a little out of sync with the roadie boat in boat 2, and then we got him in a hook here, looks like. And, you know, the roadie guys are just a little bit slower to get on us than some of the other opponents here, and Jack's able to do a really nice job of just getting them out of sync, hooking the third place boat now pretty hard, and just making this pass back take as long as possible for these guys. Couldn't tell if there was contact here. Yeah, it looked like that. There was contact, so the roadie boat jibed too close. 2-spin foul. We now have potentially the 1. We definitely are close to the 1, and we have the 3. 1-3-5 it looks like. Little body check on the boom there. Oh, we might have fouled there. I'm not 100% sure. Yep, we did foul there, so now we're back to a play 4, it looks like. Pretty unforced error on 14 there. There was no chance of them going in. Kind of the only scenario where you can make that work in Mark III there is if you're just carrying a lot of pace. But if you're at all down speed, there's no way you're making that happen. So now we're play 4. And we want to have a 4-5 gap, and we want our 1 to be very much in touch if we can with what's happening. And this was happening yesterday. We really want to make sure our pass backs are happening on lifts. And if they're happening on the header, if they're happening on the headed tack, then it's really easy for the other group to get advantaged. And it's really easy for the middle boat to make those pass backs take as long as possible, you know? And this is kind of what's happening here, right? Like the viewer left pair is a little bit on the headed tack here. They're definitely on the headed tack. And we really need our trailing boat to get out of there and get on the lifted tack and allow our pass back to happen on the lifted tack. Here, pink boats are clearly on the lifted tack. We need to kind of hold this pin as long as possible to make this pair take as much time as possible. I think we kind of bail. Our lead boat kind of bails on that, understanding that, hey, we really need to kind of keep the 1 here if we're going to have any chance of this happening. 13 does a nice job attacking kind of in a tough spot in a little bit of a header, and maybe that's going to allow the other group to kind of make some more gains here. But understanding like the shifts and understanding how that's going to impact your pass back opportunities is really, really important. So we're close maybe to play. It's unclear if we'll be play 1 or if we're chasing the 1-5-6. We got to make this pin hold as long as possible if we can. And at this point, it's not looking very good for the polar bears. We're like 1-5-6. We're a little bit slow. but there's still some race course left. Big righty there. 14 kind of hooks up into a nice right shift. And now it looks like we have a piece of this boat that's tacking. Dial down from 14. I think that was green flagged, actually. And that, I think, was the right call. And then we get a little bit of outside leverage, and it looks like we're close to being play one here. Just kind of, again, it wasn't like much team racing stuff. It was just kind of sailing the shifts a little bit better, kind of up the top here. And the pink boat in Rhodey should really be pushing down onto 14 right now. And we got to really focus on our positioning for the passbacks too. I think sometimes we're just a little too far away or a little too out front. We're not really making, we're kind of making it easy for them to kind of live there. Oh, the old jibe out. Forgot this race remained this exciting. A slightly quicker jibe out than the other boat. And we're going to make it on port tack here, at least in the 1-3.